Dana.
And I'm Kristen.
Welcome to our podcast,
Mismatched.
We are two moms from completely different walks of life
who discovered friendship where least expected.
This is our space to share, connect, and try to survive this crazy thing we call life. Whatever you are doing,
or wherever you are headed, take Mismatched along for the ride.
What are you doing?
I feel like you were just like making out with the microphone.
I was adjusting my microphone. I was making out with the microphone.
Maybe uncomfortable.
We are on location today. We're
Hello.
on location at Live to you from the Geraci.
We are at my house.
Home.
Welcome to my kitchen.
It's been a bit of a busy week. I can't even complain. I didn't have surgery.
I did have surgery last week,
You
so
look so good.
I'm sitting here with a blanket, like nice and
So are you wearing
cozy.
a bra?
I do have a bra on.
So I came over the other day. Actually, that was the morning of your surgery.
Well, okay, first of all, these people walk in my house like it was the morning before my surgery.
Yeah, the day of.
I had to do. No, it was the morning before, I think.
No, it was the day of.
Whatever. I had to prep, so like I couldn't eat anything and blah blah blah, and I was in my pajamas still, and so I did not have a bra.
She has the blanket like
So I had
up
the
to her
blanket up,
shoulders.
and I was like this, and I was fine the whole time, like wrapped around me, until my jerk husband at the very end is like, "Are you wearing your blanket like that so that they don't know you're wearing a bra? You're not wearing a bra?" And I'm like, I am, and I can't believe you just called me out like that. Like that was
But
so.
you were just gonna wrap it around yourself that way right now. But you're wearing a bra.
I am wearing a
Like
bra.
your
I was just
comfort.
being comfy right now, because I'm recovering. I'm recovering, but our listeners are so important to me that I just couldn't let a week pass by.
We are so close to missing it, but we did it. We made
We
it happen.
almost missed it.
We
It is
had-
Tuesday at 10 p.m.
We just had fair move in. I've been at the
This is all
fair.
messed
We had
up.
like a million bazillion things, and then I just drove through. Campbell's like, "What's for dinner?" And we were at the fair. Some things were open.
There we go.
Bill's like, "Why didn't you eat at the Geauga
Yeah,
County Fair?
there's
The 200th Geauga County Fair, the
that's
great."
a good point, though. You had so many good options at the fair.
They
and
weren't
you,
all open, and
You went to McDonald's?
well, because we needed it to be
Tom,
fast.
do you not realize what's going on behind me?
The Doodles are having a
I have my
wrestling
two
match.
doodles having a wrestling. They're playing tug of war behind us.
These
right
dogs do listen to Tom.
They don't
he's-
listen to me.
He says something, and they like do it.
now. What are you making a little charcuterie board over there, buddy?
Got some salami.
I can't
some
eat it,
cheese.
so that's nice of you.
Anyway, so Dan had a big week. She had surgery. We've been at the fair. We're like, we got a podcast. So we grabbed McDonald's, and I drove the truck and trailer through the drive-through.
Like, who does that?
I'm not sure Chesterland, Ohio's ever seen such a thing. And Campbell's like, "Mom, you're really good with the truck and trailer." Today I had to make some serious maneuvers. And, you know, I always find it funny when you can go through the drive-through. It fits, it works. I mean,
I was wondering, like, you didn't have to, like, take it to the back and get out or anything
oh,
like
no.
that.
I just, like, swing
That's
wide,
pretty
whip it
impressive.
through. No problem.
That
but now we're
is-
here. And so your surgery went well.
My surgery went well, and I'm recovering, and I have to watch what I eat for about a month now. So we're putting the bowels on rest right now. So I'm on a low fiber diet, which is basically everything that I have been told to not eat for like the last however many years that will make you gain weight. I am now eating like all the white bread and white potatoes and white starches
because
and
fiber will make
pastas.
you have more bowel movements. And they
Fiber
always
will
do
kind
that.
of back you up, and it makes your bowels work harder. So you don't
Okay.
want your bowels to have to
So
work.
no apples because they're high
No
in
apples.
fiber.
No apples. No fruits at all.
Oh.
No fruits at all. No fruits. No vegetables.
But all the carbs. And pot roast. They fed you pot roast for your first.
Very small
Food?
amounts I can eat of meats. Very, very small amounts of meat. I cannot eat any like processed meats, like no lunch meats or
salami?
like no salami
No
that Tom
salami.
is cutting right now. Nothing with a casing, things like that. Like I can have like chicken. I can have steak and
No hot
pot
dogs.
roast. No hot dogs. Mm-mm. Ground beef I can have. So just little. I've been having like a lot of like macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes and soups and things like that so
Sounds
far.
like some good options. Here's the
So-
thing: when you have surgery, I think this has been hard for you, or hard for all moms, is that when we need to rest our bodies, it's hard because life goes on. Like,
Yes.
you know, dishes need done, trash cans need emptied, laundry needs done.
Yes.
So your amazing husband is really stepping
He
up.
has stepped up quite a bit, but it is funny because like as much as he has stepped up, now I'm noticing all the things that, like, he's done the day-to-day, right? Like, he's done all of the dishes, and he's done the laundry, and he's done all that. But then I, like, went to go take a shower, and I'm like, no one has cleaned the toilets, obviously. Like, I cleaned them before, which I wouldn't have expected him to. What's in your cup there, kid?
I'm having a little Buffalo Trace. I got it down the pipe. That's the worst.
Yeah. So, like, you know, the, like, deeper cleaning no one's doing. So,
You
like,
do have a real thing with cleaning your bathroom.
I am
You may
obsessed
clean your
with
bathrooms
it.
more than any other person I know.
I am obsessed. I
And
have
I like a clean
boys. I have
bathroom.
boys, and I know you have boys too, but, like, I am obsessed with cleaning my bathrooms. I don't like there to be there's always, like, a layer of dirt/urine, I feel like, everywhere in their bathrooms.
We're just like our boys, like, they actually have good aim at this point.
They
Being teenagers.
don't.
They're not bad. I can't complain about the boys.
It's not even just the aim. It's like they're just gross. Like, it's even our bathroom. Like,
Is
there's
there
just
a DC around here?
Yeah,
DC
here.
means Diet Coke. I'm literally choking.
there might be one in here.
Um,
No, there's just regular Coke in here.
I got it outside.
that's fine. Anything can work.
Or there's LaCroix.
Should not have taken
Do you
that
want a
drink.
LaCroix?
It's, yeah,
Well, he's
something.
getting you a
He's getting
Diet
you one,
Coke.
it's fine. So your surgery went well. You're on like a 5 to 6 week recovery. You haven't died, even though your house looks like a funeral home.
It does look like it's been very nice. I've gotten lots of flowers, and we've gotten lots of meals from friends. Kristen, like, literally was amazing. You guys, she fed my family for literally, like, the first, like, 3 days that I was, like,
Well,
the whole
we'll talk
time I
about
was in the
first
hospital.
half, because the second half is really stunk as a friend for me because I barely talked to you. I've barely been over.
No, it's been
I haven't
fine.
fixed meals. I stop over and I'm like, I'm coming for coffee. And then I'm like, I can only stay for 15 minutes and I have a schedule I have to report
It
back
was
to.
great. It was great. I really, to be honest with you, like, no offense, I don't want to hang with people more than that right
Yeah.
now. Like, another friend came over, Carrie came over today, and after like a half hour, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I hit my limit, and
Time for you to go.
yeah, and Lisa came yesterday, and we
Oh,
walked.
that's nice.
We walked in the cul-de-sac because I can only they tell me to walk, you know, but like I can only walk a little bit at a time. And so we walked the cul-de-sac, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I get tired easily, you
Right.
know. So
So you need
tomorrow,
to rest your body, not do too much.
tomorrow is my big goal day. Tomorrow I'm going to really try and make it to Liv's volleyball game. That is like the big
it a
goal
home
of
game?
the week.
It's
It's a home game.
Home against Strickland
So
Falls.
that's why I think I can make it. And Christy has offered to drive me there. So
Oh, that's nice.
this stupid thing is like in my face. That's why I keep trying to fix
What are you
it.
doing? Trying to make out the microphone?
No, that's what you were doing. I was
So
trying-
kids are back in school. You've been a little laid up, but let's talk about some back to school, like packing lunches.
yes, I had
I have
someone.
to do that yet still tonight.
I did do that. Like, today was the first day that I've packed lunches because Tom's been doing it, but he had to take Sam to golf tonight. So I thought, I'm going to help. I feel like I have enough energy right now. I'll go downstairs and pack lunches.
That's nice.
So, yeah, which
Maybe mine are getting packed right now. while I'm
maybe.
here.
Wishful thinking. What do you think?
Not happening. I'm gonna go home. It's 9:50 at night. I'm
Bill's
taking
in
the-
bed.
He's in bed and he is.
I have to think he is probably sleeping.
That's what's happening.
I had a friend a year ago. She has twin boys who are my youngest age. And she said to me, how do you pack lunches? Isn't it like the worst thing? And you guys, that is one job as a parent that I dread like more than anything. I dread
I don't
packing
love it, but
lunches.
remember, I always say it's one thing I can still do for them, and so I look at it from that angle.
That's
that
a
it's
great
still
way to look
something
at
they
it. You know,
need me.
there's that saying that says like you should say I get to do something instead of I have to do
to.
something, right? And it like changes your perspective. Like that's a really
Right.
good way to look at that. But no, I have to. But so she had asked me, she was like, gosh, like, how do you do it? And I said, you know, I spend the extra money, like, I choose to spend the extra money on prepackaged things. And people think I'm crazy and it's such a waste of money and blah, blah, blah. But I will tell you what, like, I pack 3 kids' lunches every day and my kids refuse to buy, which is so annoying. Don't worry, for 2 years, they got free lunches and they had no intent on buying
I think they
whatsoever.
missed the free lunches because I think all of them like would take the free lunch and take what they wanted out of it
Yeah.
and throw the rest away.
And they would like make a combo lunch
Jack's
of like
"Are
what
there
I
still free
packed.
lunches.
Yeah, no. They would literally take like the good stuff of what I packed and the good stuff of what came in the free lunch and like make like the best lunch possible.
Pretty good idea.
Well, now you can't do that anymore. So, anyways, I would buy I still do. I buy all prepackaged stuff, like, and I spend extra money on the prepackaged bags of chips. And
But here's the other thing: the bags stay fresh. Like
They
if you
do.
open up the big bag, they go stale.
they
like
totally do. Do you know? Even our vet told us that you shouldn't buy the huge bags of dog food because what did he say about it gets rancid
Oh.
and it'll smell bad to the dogs.
Do you
and
keep yours in a Tupperware
we do,
container? So
we
do
do,
we.
and they say to keep it in the bag in the Tupperware container. Don't just like dump it in the Tupperware container.
Oh, I dump it in.
The oils from get on the outside of the container.
This is Tom. Tom says the
Yes.
oils
We have a special
from
guest.
the dog food.
Yes, and so our vet told us that you should just buy smaller bags of dog food because it keeps it fresher longer, even if you store it in one of those things, and then that could turn your dog off from like wanting your dog. I don't know if it's true, but whatever. So anyways, but it could go bad, and so yes, so it's just easier to like grab and go, like every
Even the
kid gets a
show
yogurt.
Semi-homemade with Sandra
Yes,
Lee.
Sandra
Like,
Lee.
I love a
It's
lot of
that
those
concept.
philosophies.
It's that
Yeah.
concept, like, you know,
Well,
every.
it's fun to do everything from scratch or homemade
It's
or
not always
packaged.
feasible.
It's not. It's those simple things.
I mean,
to make
like
your life a lot easier.
I feel like every kid gets an apple. Every kid's not going to get it cut up with a side of peanut butter, but every kid's going to get an apple, and every kid's going to get a yogurt. And my kids are so annoying. They all three have 3 different kinds of yogurt.
I wish mine would eat yogurt.
They love yogurt, but they all. Sam likes
anymore.
Greek yogurt. Liv likes Yoplait, and Joey likes what are those things? Go-gurts.
Oh, the Go-Gurts they were good.
Pain in the butt, these kids. So each kid gets that. Each kid gets a fruit. Each kid gets cucumbers cut up. Then each kid gets a bag of chips. Like, you know, it's a pain. So I have to buy the pre-pack. It's just easier. Whatever. And I even buy Uncrustables.
Okay, so did I. Last grocery shopping
They're
trip.
amazing.
But you get grape. You're a grape jelly fan, don't you?
So here's the thing. I was buying grape forever, and then apparently last year there was a grape jelly Uncrustable shortage, and
Oh.
it rocked my family. It rocked us. So my kids had to succumb to strawberry, and guess
I
what?
like strawberries.
They didn't care. They didn't even notice the freaking difference. And then Costco started to try to pull the wool over our eyes and have their own grape jelly Uncrustables. And my
Not
kids
as
were
good.
not having those. And normally they will eat anything Costco has, but they were not
So does
having
Costco
those.
sell Uncrustables?
They don't anymore. So
They're-
we were getting them at BJ's. BJ's had them.
Oh. Can you get me some next time you go?
I have a BJ's list going. When I can learn to drive again, I will go to BJ's.
When are you allowed to drive?
2 to 3 weeks based on when I can. The exact words were
Slam on the
when I
brakes.
can slam on the brakes.
Hard
yes.
brake.
Yes, right. Isn't that what he
You don't
said?
want to pop a stitch.
Right. So I have to be able to slam on the brakes. So a week from tomorrow would be 2 weeks. So that would be the earliest that I could drive. Would be a week from tomorrow. I'm very
Enjoy
over
it
this.
while you
no,
can.
I'm very. I don't
Remember
like
last
losing
week this time
independence.
you're like, I'm looking forward to being in the hospital because I'm going to be alone and nobody's going to bother me.
So I.
Fast
Okay.
forward a week.
So, let me tell you guys about my hospital experience. I get there. They're like, we have to be there at 11 o'clock in the morning for your surgery. We get there at 11. They're like, go have a seat. Tom and I are sitting there picking our
This
noses,
is a bunch of
looking at
baloney.
each other. Okay. Now, I want you to know something. I'm a huge, huge fan of the Cleveland Clinic Foundation. I think they are truly the best hospital out there. However, they are short-staffed like everybody else. I'm just going to say. And like we experienced it firsthand, but we sat there from 11 o'clock. So finally,
Stared into each other's
we
eyes.
stared into, it was like date night every day. It was date
At
night.
the hospital.
So at like 1, I got
Only
up.
Tom didn't get to eat.
No, he didn't. But neither did I. So he was like in solidarity with
That's
me.
nice.
So at 1, I got up and I went and talked to the receptionist and I was like, hey, just wondering like what's going on. And she was like, well, they have you on the schedule for a 4 o'clock surgery. And I'm like, oh, really? Because they had me come at 11. And she's like, wow, I wonder why. I'm like, haha, me too.
Me too.
So she's like, let me see what I can do. So she's like, oh, I pulled some strings. Some strings. You guys, it's narcotics. She's like,
not on any
I'm not
anymore.
even on any. I'm not even on pain. I'm on Tylenol right now. That's 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol. That's what I'm taking. So she's like, I could get you back. So she brings me back. So we're all excited. It's like 1:30. We think we like hit the jackpot. 6:30. We sat there until 5. We sat there for 5 hours. At 6:30, they finally brought me back.
So I really do want to know what the surgeon was doing this whole
I don't
time.
know. And
like
then it
other
kind of got me
surgeries?
nervous. Yeah, because then like when they did bring me back, the one nurse was like, well, don't worry. He doesn't get tired. I'm like, well, that's reassuring. Like how many other surgeries did he do before mine? So it was a 3-hour surgery, and then by the time it was done, and they like went through recovery and yada yada yada, they put me into a room, which it's a shared room. There's a fruit fly. It's a shared room.
Probably a gnat from the flowers.
It probably is.
Or from me from the fair.
Could go either way. So they put me in a shared room with this lady who was moaning. That's the only thing I remember from like that time period is this lady was moaning. And
Was this before surgery she was moaning?
this was after.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, oh, we didn't give you a COVID test. So they're like, we don't do COVID tests anymore before surgery. We do them after because that's when we admit you, and you don't get a COVID test until you're admitted to the hospital.
Smart thinking.
Smart thinking, Cleveland Clinic, because we're going to give you this COVID test once you're admitted, because otherwise we would never get anything done, and we can't make any money otherwise. So we know what we're doing now. Now, after 2 years, they have figured it out. So they give me the COVID test. I'm like, okay, no problem. They give me the COVID test. He leaves, goes home. I go to sleep with the lady moaning next to me. The nurse brings me earplugs and an ear
She
mask
could hear this
because
lady.
the lady was moaning. And so I finally fall asleep in the bed, and they come back and they're like, ma'am, your COVID test tested positive. I'm like, you are full of you know what. I'm like, no, it didn't. I have 0 symptoms. I'm like, stop. You guys, I've already had COVID twice. I'm like,
Now you've had it 3
this
times.
is my 3rd time. I'm like, and that was, I think, the first thing I
And
said.
you're like fully vaccinated.
I'm fully vaccinated. I'm boosted. I mean, because I have Crohn's, so I'm like very,
You know
very
what I think about
careful.
these
I know. Well, you might be leaning me in your direction. So now I'm like, I literally think the first thing I said to the nurse was like, you're effing kidding me. This is the 3rd time.
Did you use the word?
I think I probably used the word at this point. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. So they're like, we have to move you to your private room now.
Oh,
and I'm
darn.
like, jackpot, it worked. I'm like, why didn't I just think of this
You
beforehand?
haven't got the bill yet.
No joke. So they take me to like the other side of the earth, literally. And they take me to this beautiful room, wood grain. It's so nice. Fancy room, beautiful room on the other side of the world. And I'm in my own private room, and it's wonderful. And COVID is not a thing at the hospital anymore. I'm like, do you want me to put a mask on? They're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, well, can my husband come see me? They're like, yeah, it's fine.
Anybody can come and see you.
Anyone can come. My mom came, and my mom just had COVID, so she's like, I got all the antibodies. I don't care. So, okay, fine. So they come. Everyone is fine. Everything. The dogs are wanting attention.
You good girl.
So they take me there. I spend the whole day there. That night, they're like, oh, we're sorry. We need this room back now
So
for
did
like
they say
the
maybe
real
we were
VIP.
wrong?
No, they didn't
So
say
who
they
was
were
going
wrong.
in there? Was it like a famous person?
I don't know, but they needed
Maybe
that
a
room.
basketball or football player's wife.
So they had to take me back to another room. I said, well, what do you mean? I have COVID. You can't put me in another room. No, we're just going to put you with another COVID patient. So if I didn't have COVID before, I would have it then.
Oh, Lordy.
So then I
The funny
spent,
thing is I was with you when
Yeah.
you probably had COVID.
totally. I mean,
I
and I
get
had
it.
0 symptoms. Like, it's ridiculous. So then when I came home, the very first thing I did was test
Take a COVID
myself.
test.
And it was, well, not the first thing I did. I came home Saturday. Sunday morning, I tested myself, and I was negative.
You
So
sent a picture. I'm
I
like,
was-
what is this? This is bizarre.
my COVID lollipop was negative.
Ugh.
3rd time, guys.
Are you going to
So-
keep testing? Are you
No,
over
I'm
this
good.
testing?
No, I'm done. What do you mean? What am I going to keep testing for?
I don't know. Well, the next time you get a sniffler, are you going to test?
No, I've got antibodies now. You guys are all screwed. I'm good.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yep, that was my experience with my surgery. Hopefully, I'm on the road to recovery. And
We look good.
thanks. And now we have the fair coming up. So, talk about the fair.
I mean, I don't know what there's to talk about. All the animals are there. I felt more chicken breasts than I ever cared to. Bill and I got into a little squabble in the poultry barn today.
You've been waiting all day to use that, haven't you?
Yeah. And so because I said, keep your eye on this bird, because I was like feeling them, because they all have to feel the same. So you don't want like one really good bird. Like they all need to feel uniform. Like the width of their breast, the depth
Do you
of their
feel
breast.
that you're better at feeling boobs than Bill
For
is?
sure, because he's like, I don't even know what I'm feeling for. I'm like, I need your help.
Well,
Like, I
he's
need your
married to you,
input.
in his
That's
defense.
true. That's true. And I'm like, we need to have firm.
I feel like Tom would be really good at this
firm
job.
He knows what drumsticks feel like because I have big thighs. anyways, I'm like, it's all about the breast. And he's like, I don't know. And so I'm like, just watch this bird. And so I'm like, we're going to take these 3 because we had it narrowed down to 4 because the 5th one had a heart attack, like right on the lawn.
Oh, yeah, you told me
the other
this.
day. Literally starts flapping.
It's
his
definitely
wings.
not good for business, by the way.
And so, the people love all this. Like, they really do. Like, when we were shearing the sheep, we had this flock of people. I'm like, this is crazy. But anyway, so I said, watch this
Chesterland
bird. And
people aren't used to
he's
it.
like, you took my bird. I'm like, which one is it? And he's like, well, I don't know. I stopped watching it after you took it. So I'm like, now I'm back to the drawing board. And he's like, you do not have to get upset about this. And I'm like, we have just wasted 45 minutes. So anyways, it's
So
been
is
real
this your
fun.
last fair of the season?
No, we have the Fairfield County Fair to go to.
Oh, that's
next.
like where you guys
Yeah,
are from.
September will be at the Big E, and then October will be at the Fairfield County, and then, but that's like the big one for the kids, and then the North American in November, and that'll be it for the season. We've already started having baby lambs. Like, there's a lot going on right now. So, but make your way out to the 200th Great Geauga County Fair. Starts tomorrow.
I can't with you.
Yes.
All right, we are
We're out of
officially
time.
out of
We didn't do
time.
our Fast Five.
I know, I think that's like 2 weeks in a row.
No, we did it last time.
We
Okay,
did?
Fast Five. What are 5 tips for people who are going to go to the hospital and have some surgery or procedure done? What are your advice?
Clean your bathrooms before you go.
Don't let anybody use your bathrooms.
While you're gone, just don't let anybody use them. Like, here's what I should have done. I should have told my family you're only allowed to use one
Yeah, shut them all down.
bathroom. While
Close
I'm
them
gone.
up.
That's what I should have done. So that would be
That's
advice
one.
number 1. Number 2 would be have a list of Netflix shows or recommendations from friends, and don't do anything too serious because I couldn't get involved with anything. Have a list of books you want to read. Bring some earplugs because you will get stuck with a snorer. Bring your favorite blanket. It will need to get washed as soon as you get home, but you will be so grateful to have your favorite blanket. And, this is a great tip. If you have a friend in the hospital, this tip was given to me today by someone, and it would have really benefited us. If you have a friend in the hospital, especially down at main campus and soon to be at Hillcrest because they're putting one in there, buy Panera gift cards for them. It's a great gift for someone in the hospital or like whatever restaurant
For
might
the
be in your
spouse
hospital.
who's in the
For the
hospital.
spouse that is in
Yeah,
the
that's
hospital
a good
because
one.
it is a great one. All right, that's my tips.
Okay, we're out of time. Thanks
Have a
for
great week,
listening.
guys.
Until
Thanks.
next time, we're mismatched.